And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Line of scrimmage, the 24. This is 2nd and 6.
Here we go.
They'll set up a throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a first down.
Well, this hasn't really been a first half to remember on either side of the ball, but I think this kind of makes this an important drive. You'd love to get this back to a one-score game if you can, and that's good work there to get some yardage here and pick up the...
Here's a diving catch right side. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. And it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll look to throw again. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. From 10 yards out. And the Saints have got it back to within a score. Now for the point after. And this is up and good to make it a 17-14 game. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. And he's going to be stopped cold. Good coverage there by the kick team to bring that return to an abrupt halt. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns. And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
They go play action here on 1st down. And now this one may draw a penalty. He just blindly threw that one to the sideline. And, yep, indeed, the flag is out. They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. They're going to look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. It's a big play there for Seattle. 67 yards. After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Walker. is in. Touchdown, Seattle. Well, that was a quick drive. The passing game set it up, and then the running game finishes it off.
And how about how few plays it was to get it done, but they threw it downfield and then pounded it into the end zone. And as a former defender, I can tell you, it hurts just a little bit more when they run it into the end zone instead of throwing it.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. For this offense, Charles, remember the last time they were out here, marched it nearly the full length of the football field, and a lot of the attack went through the air, so now they're seeing if they can duplicate that performance.
Okay, if I show my age a little bit, partner, because I can hear my high school coach, John Ford. I can hear his voice in my head. Laddie, when you put the ball in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. But the way the game's being played now, this is just part of what they do, so I don't think they should change anything at all. They've been dominant. Keep throwing it around.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. He'll look to throw. Wide open receiver, complete. And he'll be touched down in the end, but a big play on that one.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Had the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Here we go, set.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Swinging this out wide here for Cook. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 61 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this 1st half. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. They'll look to throw here. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Kind of a fine line when you're setting up a screen. You don't want to throw it too early and have the defense react too quickly. And you definitely don't want to throw it too late. And that way it's not formed perfectly. Got to make sure you hit it just right.
From the 20, here's 2nd and 5. Now back to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it'll leave him with 3rd and a full yard to go. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. Here's a quick throw caught out wide. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. He's up over 50 yards receiving now in this 1st half. It's a 1st down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. His pass caught at the 4. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. A great play touchdown here in this first half. And the Saints have cut it back within a score. Extra point right down the middle. And that cuts the lead to 3, 24-21. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. Oh, the turnover fest continues. Here's another interception. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach in the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and pump the football.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
When a linebacker diagnoses a screen, who wins? The quarterback getting a throw over to the back in time, or the linebacker running in to knock it away? With the athleticism of modern linebackers, they win the race more often than not.
Now it's 2nd and 10. Looks like they'll move things around here.
Let's go now.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And complete, right side to Cook. Touchdown, New Orleans. James Cook, 36 yards. And the Saints are able to move back in front. Well, forget about the weapons out wide. He knows he's got another weapon in the backfield of the passing game, Charles, and he utilized him perfectly on that play.
And the offense coordinator showed me something on that play, Brandon, because so often during a game, our cameras find them looking down at their play sheets, and you wonder if they're absorbing anything. He had something specific in mind, and he went to it, and it worked well.
Here we go on the return from the 1-yard line. And this return going to come to a quick end as he is belted at the end of that one. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He'll get that to his tight end, Theo Johnson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
And a decent gain there as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. They'll set up to throw. He sets to fire deep. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. A big play there. 48 yards. And the Seahawks have moved out in front. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big strike like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback. And we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. Oftentimes now, offenses aren't nearly as precise as days gone by. They just tell receivers, find an open patch of grass and let the quarterback find you. And that's exactly what they did on that play. First with the pass through the air, nice chunk of yardage there, and then additional pickup with his legs after the catch.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. He'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. A dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he comes back with one complete. And his bid for the first down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. They run. It's Williams. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a first down. And obviously they want that run yardage, so they decline the penalty.
No doubt about it. Smart on their part. They finished off the play. But if you're going to jump, if you're going to commit a penalty, it's your job to finish off the play so you don't give up big gains like that.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. They'll look to throw. Touchdown! A 5-yard touchdown. And the Saints will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half. Point after, right down the middle. And that will make this a 4-point game. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot. Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They'll drop to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. Still going inside the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf in the final seconds of the first half. And the Seahawks have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half. Now the try here for the point after. And that one gives them a 3-point lead. So with 3 seconds remaining in the half, they will line up to kick this one away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. They'll throw now on the final play. Flush to his right. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They've reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
and they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
Here's 2nd and 8. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. So the holding call on the offense, so they go ahead and decline that one and take possession of the football on the INT. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, second down.
They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10.
That's to Cook out of the backfield.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line.
78 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Now that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
2nd down and inches.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Saints have retaken a third-quarter lead.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will make this a 4-point game. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. Oh, and a nice return, but he takes a big shot at the end of it.
That strong return has set them up nicely for this drive, and we all know the next score is going to have a major impact on this game.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked off by Damone Clark.
And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
You're not liking the look. They'll change the play.
From the gun, it's a run for Williams. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Looking to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. He won't find a ton of space following the display of power as he's down just inside the 45. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Back to throw here. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Johnson. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe it'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
3rd quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10.
They'll set up a throw.
And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49.
I have to think a major focus at the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secure before they slide off and try and chip someone at the 2nd level.
2nd and 9 now. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
He'll look to throw.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 27-yard line. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give them 25 yards. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 27. Back to throw. And a quick throw here. That's complete. It'll be a gain of 5. And that'll bring up 2nd down. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his cause to stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's gotten it done. Body control, route running. How about the way he competes for the football at the end of the play?
Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on third.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it.
This one goes underneath to Walker. And the Seahawks are looking at first and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Here's Walker.
And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
You know, when this offense gets down here near the end zone, they're going to turn to their bell cow, and this guy's been a touchdown machine all year. Excellent job stopping him there on first down.
Second and goal from the 1. They'll bring a tight end in motion. Again, Walker. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. They'll look to throw on third and goal. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. From 3 yards out.
And the Seahawks have moved out in front here in the final minute of the third quarter.
Extra point right down the middle. And that gives them a 3-point lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started.
Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
4 yards the pickup, first down.
But that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Williams. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
Here we go, set. Go.
They go play action here on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Up the middle, it's Williams.
And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Here's a 2nd and 7. This one swung out to Williams.
They'll go for a gain of 7. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Saints first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
They'll look to throw here. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. It'll go down as a gain of 6. And that'll make it 2nd down.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he's going to drop this off to Williams, complete.
And he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it as he gets wiped out on that one.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
They'll look to throw again.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And the Saints are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. Again, he'll drop to throw.
And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Oh, that one's going to hurt big time because it's a one-score game, and they certainly thought with that throw they were getting a difference-making score right there.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal.
Set, go.
Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. Touchdown, Saints. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year.
And the Saints answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a 4th quarter lead.
Point after, right down the middle. And that will make this a 4-point game. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the 4th quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. He got 29 yards that time.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs. Keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here.
6 yards to pick up, and that's a 1st down.
Well, they've certainly been successful throwing it around in this game, and that's allowed them to move the ball on offense. But I got to tell you, to watch them run the football and successfully, I'm not taking sides. But to see the ball in a running back's hands, oh, that's football for me.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. A great effort there. 33 yards.
And the Seahawks have taken a fourth-quarter lead. Plenty of scoring here of late, and our lead changes hands now in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they just gave up a touchdown the other end, so they knew that with time getting short, they had to put something together here, and they were able to do so and retake the lead right back.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that gives them a 3-point lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And a nice return, but he's going to pay for it as they knock him down hard at the end.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense.
We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the fourth quarter.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11.
Charles, he's now over 400 yards passing in this one. It feels like he has a zillion completions. Just a very memorable effort from a guy that we thought could be in line for a big game, and he has exceeded our expectations.
That he has, and I'm not really surprised at all because when you look at this offensive unit, they are loaded across the board. And, of course, the guy throwing them, he's a big-time player himself. They brought him from start to finish and really helped get the better of the opposing secondary.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. He'll look to throw. He'll dump this off to Cook. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a second and long. Back to throw again. Throwing middle, and it's complete.
Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. And he'll get this only to about the 38 as they stop him a few yards shy of the line to gain. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
This one, an absolute must. It's 4th and 4.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Over the middle, it's complete. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now.
They're going to look to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go.
Here we go. 1st and goal.
19, Tiger, 19. Head to 60, head to 60.
They'll look to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
The way he's thrown the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like happened there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions, and that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
He's back to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Here's 1st and 10.
They'll try and start this drive in the air.
Throw out wide to Walker.
And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line.
Not a position where they absolutely have to rush right now, but they definitely have to pick up the tempo a bit.
They'll come up now on 2nd down.
They'll look to throw. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
2 timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
And this is obviously a spot where you lean on your stars. Get the ball to them in open space and let them do what they do.
Walker now on 1st and 10.
Yeah, he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. And they get the timeout called here. It comes with 1 second remaining on the clock. So now this one's going to rest on the foot of their second-year kicker. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. So now it all comes down to the left foot of their kicker. And it is good. He splits the uprights on the chip shot. And they'll be celebrating in Pioneer Square tonight. The Seahawks have won the game.
Charles, normally when you see a group score this many points, it's a complete blowout. But instead, they needed every single one of those in this close, high-scoring affair.
And, Brandon, I'm still on the edge of my seat after that one because when you have that much scoring and it still comes down to one-possession game at the end, that's not something we see very often. In this case, these offenses, they brought it. The defenses, they're going to need some work going forward.
So for the Seahawks, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, it's a loss that sets them back in their playoff push as they fall to 6-5. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.